Assalamu alaikum everyone, this is Sawera and today my presentation topic is educational research. First of all, we have to discuss what is hypothesis. So we have a definition of hypothesis, that is, a hypothesis is a tentative statement about the relationship between two or more variables. It's a specific testable prediction about what you expect to do और what to expect to happen in a study means ये हमेशा एक प्रिडिक्शन होती है. रिसर्च प्रिडिक्ट करता है कि मेरी स्टडी में ये चीज़ें हो सकती हैं. बट फॉर एग्जांपल, a study designed to look at the relationship between sleep deprivation and test performance might have a hypothesis that states this study is designed to assess the hypothesis that sleep deprived people will perform worse on a test than individuals who are not sleep deprived. Means जो sleep deprived people लोग होते हैं वो किसी भी टेस्ट पे बहुत बुरा परफॉर्म कर सकते हैं as compared to those people who are not sleep deprived. Let's take a closer look at how a hypothesis is used, formed, and tested in scientific research. Now we have a diagram which shows that how the hypothesis is formed, and then it is used and then tested in scientific research. Come up to the how the hypothesis is used in scientific method. किसी भी scientific method में हम hypothesis को किस तरह use करते हैं. So we have the following steps. That's first we are forming a question, then we are doing or performing a background research, then we are creating a hypothesis and design an experiment, then collecting data, analyzing results, draw and at the last draw its conclusions and communicating the results. These are following points that is used in a scientific method for hypothesis. The hypothesis, what the researchers predict the relationship between two or more variables, but it involves more than a guess. Most of the time, the hypothesis begins with a question which is then explored through background research. It is only at this point that researchers begin to develop a testable hypothesis. Always remember that a hypothesis doesn't have to be correct. ज़रूरी नहीं कि हमेशा आपको hypothesis सही हो. While the hypothesis predicts what the researchers expect to see, the goal of the research is to determine whether this guess is right or wrong. When conducting an experiment, researchers might explore a number of factors to determine which one might contribute to ultimate outcome. Elements of a good hypothesis. एक अच्छा hypothesis के लिए कौन से elements होने चाहिए, क्या चीज़ें उसमें होनी चाहिए. So let's see. When trying to come up with a good hypothesis for your research or experiment, ask yourself the following questions. Is your hypothesis based on your research on a topic? Can your hypothesis be tested, or does your hypothesis include independent or dependent variables? These are the questions which you should ask yourself before hypothesis. Before you come up with a specific hypothesis, spend some time doing background research on your topic. First, hypothesis करने से पहले you should do a background research. आपको एक background research करनी चाहिए. Once you have completed it, a literature review. Start thinking about potential questions you still have. Pay attention to the discussion section in the journal articles you read. Many authors will suggest questions to still need to be explored. Now, how the hypothesis formed. Hypothesis किस तरह बनता है? The first step of investigation is to identify an area of interest and develop a hypothesis first that can be tested. सबसे पहले आप इन्वेस्टिगेशन आइडेंटिफाई करें वो एरिया जो आपके इंटरेस्ट का है, और फिर आप एक hypothesis डेवलप करें. While a hypothesis often described as a hunch or a guess, it is actually much more specific. A hypothesis can be defined as, एक और hypothesis का हमारे पास definition है, that is an educated guess about the relationship between two or more variables. कोई भी educated guess, जैसे हम कोई guess करते हैं, कोई पेशेंट कोई करते हैं, कोई predict करते हैं, किसी भी के भी बारे में अगर वो हम predict कर रहे हैं तो that is our hypothesis. Then, for example, a researcher might be interested in the relationship between study habits and test anxiety. These are the two variables. The researchers would propose a hypothesis about how these two variables are related. अभी दो hypothesis किस तरह relate कर रहे हैं? such as test anxiety decreases as a result of effective study habits. In order to form a hypothesis, you should take these steps. First, you should collect as many observations about something as you can. Then evaluate these observations and look for possible cause of the problem. Then create a list of possible explanation that you might want to explore. After you have developed some possible hypotheses, it is important to think of the ways that you could confirm or disprove each hypothesis through experimentation. हर हाइपोथेसिस आपकी प्रेडिक्शन एक्सपेरिमेंट से कैंसिल हो सकती है, एक्सपेरिमेंट उस वजह से प्रूव कर सकता है. ज़रूरी नहीं हमारी हर प्रेडिक्शन एक्सपेरिमेंट के मुताबिक हो. दैट इज़ नोन एज फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी, falsifiability. Hypothesis often follows a basic format, means अब hypothesis का format क्या होना चाहिए. If this happens, then this will happen. One way to structure your hypothesis could describe what will happen to a dependent variable if you make changes to independent variable. मीन्स एक हाइपोथेसिस का फॉर्मेट ये होना चाहिए कि ये भी हो सकता है कि व्हाट विल हैपन टू डिपेंडेंट वेरिएबल्स, अगर आप डिपेंडेंट वेरिएबल्स पे क्या इफ़ेक्ट पड़ता है अगर आप इंडिपेंडेंट वेरिएबल्स को चेंज करते हैं. द बेसिक फॉर्मेट माइट बी, if these changes are made to be certain independent variables, then we will observe a change in a specific dependent variable. A few examples listed in above. A few examples that are listed below is students who eat breakfast will perform better on a math exam than students who do not eat breakfast. Another example is students who experience test anxiety prior to an English exam will get higher scores than students who do not experience test anxiety. Motorists who talk on the phone while driving will be more likely to make errors on a driving course than those who do not talk on the phone. Now, I have also a hypothesis checklist कि आपका hypothesis में ये चीज़ें हैं या नहीं. Does your hypothesis focus on something that you can actually test? Can you manipulate the variables, or can your hypothesis be tested without violating ethical standards? Now, your hypothesis should, आपके hypothesis को ये चीज़ उस hypothesis में ये चीज़ें होनी ज़रूरी हैं. That are, it should be written in clear and concise language. It have both an independent and dependent variables. Be falsifiable. Sorry, is it impossible to prove or disapprove the statement, or it should make a prediction or speculate on an outcome. Be practicable. Can you measure the variables in questions? You should be practical in performing or developing an hypothesis. Then, hypothesize about a proposed relation between two variables or an intervention into this relationship. These all should be included in a hypothesis you can develop. Then your hypothesis, we can say that it's a good hypothesis or it based on the experiment. There's our references now, and this is all about my presentation. Thank you very much.